Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play King's Quest 2. Last time we got ourselves the Birth Gem, also known as the Water Gem, and now we need to get the Life Gem, also known as the Air Gem. And anyway, while I decided to look up things for this game, see if there's different Easter eggs. I know there are, but I was surprised at how many there are just by using the talk icon on different things, like this for example.
How is it that the rock does not answer you? Sedimentary, my dear Graham.
And these things are everywhere, these different responses to just talking to different things that are all referencing something. It is insane. I wish I could show them all off, but that would take a long time from how many I saw. Anyway, let's take a look.
One of the pickets has fallen loose from the rickety fence.
It's not nailed down, we can take it.
The fallen picket feels reasonably sturdy and is pointed at one end. Believing that you may find a use for it, you retrieve it and carry it with you.
Yay! We got a piece of pointy wood.
It appears to be an ordinary fence picket. Its pointed end reminds you of a stake.
Huh. I'm sure that information won't be useful later.
It's as sharp as a stake on one end.
It keeps using the word stake. I wonder if that is important. Oh, let me slowly speed down now. I actually forgot to save after, when I showed you that little smashing pumpkin thing, I loaded directly to it without actually saving after that whole thing, so I sped it up to make things faster to getting back here. One good thing about adventure games is that they're pretty simple to get through once you know what you're doing. And so they make pretty simple LPs to do, and I like that. Anyway, let's go back to the library to see what is in store for us. Because surely the librarian's going to have some information about the land and the clouds. Ooh. Come on, there, go. There. Like I said, it's going to be just as annoying every single time. That freaking... Actually, remember this guy?
It is likely that this haystack was piled here by farmers.
We've already...
Maybe you should do something to help the occupant first. After all, you don't want to get sneezed on while searching the haystack.
Yeah, remember that guy was sneezing a whole bunch.
The haystack, or rather whoever or whatever is inside it, is no longer responsive to your inquiries.
Perhaps we have something that can help.
It is a large sheet of cloth. It has a silky texture.
Perfect for snot.
Here, this might help your sneezing.
Oh, thanks.
Oh.
Here, you can have this back now.
You retrieve the partially used cloth from the haystack.
I don't want that.
Feel better?
Yeah, it's so good to be able to
Still sneezing. What was that, though?
A shiny silver needle lays on the ground near the haystack.
Needle in a haystack. All right. That was already used
You take
by,
the silver needle.
Sorry. Had to when he's bending over like that. But yeah, already used that in King's Quest V, which was made before this, but whatevs.
It is a tiny silver needle. It reminds you of a dart.
Once again, I wonder if that information
The
will be
needle
useful.
pierces your skin easily.
Ooh, let's do it again.
The
A little bit of masochism there. Okay. So, okay, now to the library. Hello there, madam. More books.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
I bet she has so few members because she wants this library all to
There.
herself. And that's very reasonable. I'd want a library to myself, too. That would be awesome.
This book is entitled Legends. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Okay, let's do this. Daventry's first king, known to many as Legitimor, is as much an enigma of history as he was woven into the fabric of legend itself. Though his passing occurred nearly 1,000 years ago, it remains somewhat unclear as to the manner of his death and what became of the power he wielded. Historians do know that Legenimor was a powerful magician or a wizard, as he might be called nowadays. He is largely credited with bringing along with his kind of magic and civility to Daventry and the surrounding world. According to legend, during what was arguably the bloodiest war Daventry has ever seen, Legenimor sought to commit his awesome power to the cosmos. It is believed that he blamed himself for the extent of the Grand War, in particular the magic that had been used to exacerbate the death toll. He therefore chose to render himself mortal, an action that would prove to be his last. However, legend would also suggest that his power may be attainable if only one would perceive and understand how and when. This is evidenced by a parchment located just a few centuries ago, dated 30 years after the first king's death. Interesting, I forgot about this. I don't think this has much to do with the main plot of this game, but it has something to do with the overarching plot for the VGA versions of these first three games in the King's Quest trilogy. More on that later, because I don't want to spoil anything. Oh, more! If seeketh you the power of Legenimor, thou shalt be well appraised. It will not be an easy task, for the path thou may be swayed, for in great Daventry lies means for which it may be found, belonging to one who rules the land by one who wears the crown. From the circle nature springs, from royal thoughts thus sown, though woe betide the unjust thief who claims it for his own. And this great land is known to rest the corpse of Legenimor, who died defending his home turf in the longest, fiercest war. His great mistake, which sealed his fate, he cast his magic aside, up high into the heavens which forever stretches wide. But the search may be rewarding for the seeker of this power, as his apex soon approaches when cometh the darkest hour. Hark, by sun and moon, and planets as all of them align, the one prepared for the ascension will surely see the sign. Power thus can then be granted to just one from this great rule. If one be thee, then thou shalt be the everlasting jewel. The first king's brother, Morgalen, was also presumed killed in the Grand War. Legenimor's loyal first knight and successor, Granthor, ruled over the realm for nearly 50 years. He sired a number of children who either remained to guarantee the continuation of the royal bloodline, or set forth to build kingdoms of their own. I wonder what number Graham is in Kings of Daventry. Because remember, he is the King of Daventry. So he's one in that line. Any other books?
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
Yeah, there is something important in there for
There!
a deeper storyline of the series.
This book is entitled Power, Politics, and Pulpits. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Okay, I get it. Powers, politics, and pulpits. In many lands, the church and state have long shared a mutual distrust of one another. While the state is responsible for the wealth and security of the realm, the church's concern is for the moral standing of the population. It is said that when one intrudes upon the domain of the other, discord is inevitable. In no other place has this been more unpleasant than Colima. The feud between the two institutions there dates back many decades. In the days of the late Count Kraestrom, the Lord of Colima, spoke openly of the need for change, chiefly regarding the education of the common people. The Church of the Faith maintained that the simple people were of the land. They knew their rightful place, and thus their path was secure. Years later, the young and idealistic Count Kaldor, Kraestrom's heir, declared that the Church of the Faith had purposely been holding the people back, retaining their ignorance of literature and the wider world for their own selfish benefit. Naturally, the Church resented this insinuation and in turn declared Kaldor a heathen. At that time, the moon of the population had tensed, stability in the realm had weakened, as dissension between the church and state rose. It may have continued to do so had the situation not been annulled by tragedy. The Count fell a terrible injury while in the forest one night, which later proved fatal. While it expressed its condolences to the family of the fallen lord, the Church of the Faith asserted that only through its own version of Purpurina, not the rulers, could the people find the true faith. It is a curious point to note that no new leader has been chosen to replace Caldor, though it has been many years since his passing. No question about this, the townsfolk were likely to either ignore the inquiry altogether, or cast a furtive glance in the direction of the now inaccessible castle. Interesting. There's also something interesting about the name of Count Caldor, but I won't tell you because it actually might spoil something. If you can figure it out, go ahead. Anyway, that should be enough for now. We actually haven't been here
The
yet.
sign atop the store simply says, A. The door of the antique shop is your gateway to the priceless treasures beyond. Maybe.
Antique shop, let's go in. What's this?
Ah, dragonfire! Oh, no, wait. It's just a mounted dragon head. Whew.
A reference to Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire.
Twin axes grace the wall above the front door. You wonder if they serve as a security measure for intruders. It's a weather vane with the obligatory depiction of a rooster.
What's with the rooster anyway? I don't
A
know.
large and incredibly hefty-looking mallet is propped up against the shelf. A small engraving on its head reads, Broggy.
Oh, that's a reference to Quest for Glory 1. That is awesome. They're doing all sorts of Sierra references in here, like right here.
Apparently, this interesting-looking item is a Model DX cartridge retrieval unit. Quite a useful little device in another time and place.
From the Space Quest.
It is a tiny harp. How cute. You are inside a cute little antique shop. Old furniture and knickknacks clutter the place. Against the wall, a low bench displays an assortment of items. A well-crafted lute awaits the anxious buyer. An expensive-looking statue catches your eye. It is sculpted of white marble and appears to be the only item of any real value within the shop. You find it quite odd that this grand statue is situated amongst other ordinary items of far less value.
Huh, that is strange.
The little old lady is tiny, with twinkling blue eyes. Her white hair is done up in a neat bun on top of her head. She appears at first to be in her 60s. Then you notice the sheer quantity of makeup plastered on her face, and decide that she may well be older than that.
Chat.
You are in...
Okay, I think, is that all we can look at?
You are in...
Yeah. There's probably more, but that's all the cool stuff right there.
Good afternoon. What can I do for you, dear?
Hello. Do you sell anything that would aid in ascent up a mountain?
Unfortunately, I do not sell climbing equipment, or anything of that sort. This is really a specialist store.
Oh,
However, I do have an item which you might find useful. This lamp is said to contain a genie. Never tried it myself, of course. I do not believe in using magic to solve my problems. Nature has made us as we are, and we should be glad of that.
uh-huh. How much for the lamp?
The old lady hesitates. You sense she wants more from you than your money. You hope it is not anything that you will regret.
Well,
Ew.
seeing as how you are a man who seems adept at taking care of himself, perhaps you could do a small favor for me?
Somehow, you knew she was going to say that.
I once owned a beautiful nightingale. Quite rare around here. But the sentimental value far outweighs its monetary worth. That foul old witch Hagatha has stolen it from me, probably to use in some concoction or another.
Her nose screws up in disgust.
So, if you could be a sweetie and retrieve it for me, I will trade you. The lamp for the bird. Agreed?
Well, I will see what I can do.
Do be careful. If Hagatha should spot you out of her good eye, then you'll be in for it.
Okay, that's fair. She wants her birdie back. I can understand that. Let's go find Hagatha then. I believe we've seen her cave, but I've never actually passed by it yet. So, let's go find her. Okay. So her cave is this way. Should be pretty close. One more. No.
You have run into an
douche. Ah, there it is.
A sinister-looking cave can be seen to the north of here.
Yeah, we saw that before when we saw a little possum here. Anyway, I'm going to save the game. And I just saved it using the word witch, but I spelled the word witch wrong. How could I do that? What the? Oh, yes! Yes! You have no idea how happy I am right now. That is a rare Easter egg that can happen. Yes, that was the Batmobile with the music going on. That doesn't have any relevance to the story, but every so often, if you come up here, you'll see the Batmobile come out of the cave. But like I said, it doesn't happen that often. The fact that it happened the very first time I walk up here is just incredible. I love it. Oh, man. Oh. Anyway. Hello?
It is a human skull with a radiant blue stone wedged into its eye socket.
Wait a minute.
He's way past talking these days. It is a human skull with large eye sockets.
Interesting.
Unless you are mistaken, the symbol above the cave entrance bears a striking similarity to a bat. A shiver runs down your spine as you look at it. It's almost as if some dark force were radiating from it.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine if we just go in. So, alright.
As you near the cave, the bat symbol above the entrance starts radiating an ominous black glow.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. Oh!
You saw black glow. You did not slow, turned not away. You've had your day.
That was a little bit brutal. Well, we saw that there's a blue gem in this skull, but not one in that one. And we have a blue gem here.
Throwing that away would be like discarding one of the 3 treasures of Daventry.
Didn't want to do that. We want to put the little blue dot. There we go.
As you attempt to place the birth gem into the skull, you discover that it does not fit properly. Instead, it juts out uselessly like a bulging eyeball.
Gosh, what do we do about that?
The birth gem protrudes from the skull like a bulging eyeball. You'll somehow need to push it in further.
I have an idea. Whap-bam!
You gently tap the birth gem with the mallet, hoping not to break it. It budges only slightly. You give it a harder hit. It moves a bit more. You hold your breath and give the gem an almighty thwack. It pops into the skull.
An almighty thwack? That's more than a regular thwack.
You could sit down and ponder over the meaning of life, the universe, and everything, but frankly, you have better things to do.
I know, I actually want to do...
That's about as you could.
There we go.
As you face the skull towards the image of the bat above the cave, you notice that its wing has faded slightly. However, you suspect that whatever danger the bat represents is still in effect.
So we want to get the other one. There we go.
You turn the rightmost skull so that it faces the bat symbol above the cave entrance. The power of the 2 skulls combined has caused the bat symbol to disappear. You sense whatever danger it represented has now subsided.
All right.
A searing beam of blue light streams from the skull's eye socket and concentrates itself on the bat symbol above the cave entrance.
Let's save again. And go on inside. Oh.
As you enter, you are almost overwhelmed by the foul stench which molests your nostrils. It is obviously coming from whatever Hagatha is cooking in that large cauldron of hers. There are some things of interest on the other side of the cave, but you have no means of crossing over there safely at this time. A caged nightingale sits on the floor near the northern cave wall. The light from outside barely penetrates the interior of this cave. So long as you keep your distance, Hagatha shouldn't notice you.
Hey, we've seen her before. She wants to kill us. But will she do it, or can we get the bird back? Well, you're just gonna have to find out next time on Let's Play King's Quest 2. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.
You hear Agatha begin a chant of some kind while stirring her brew.
The fluid of blood with bone and flesh. 'Twill make my complexion young and fresh. Inducing time to reverse its sail. All I need is a sweet nightingale.